Bem-vindos a mais uma série paraquedas com Horace, a parte 14. Ok, continuar. E o bom que abrir ele até que abre rápido quando. Nem sempre, né? Que às vezes não dá uma bugada muito louca. Mas, bora.
It wasn't difficult to sneak out. There was no one around thanks to the robot city curfew laws, but to be honest, as I was their king, I don't think anyone would have stopped us anyway.
Não tem nada aqui. Assim, vai de propósito, tá? Só pra.
I think my astro navigation had failed us, as neither I nor Fort remembered coming this way. Somehow we found ourselves in a massive forest, and Fort decided it was time to rest.
Você vai ter ele contando a história. Podia o jogo ser assim, não podia? Botar um inimigo espaçado pra lá, pra cá. Vai começar a pipocar espinho pra
It
tudo
wasn't
quanto é
long
lado.
before we were inside a huge sawmill.
Ah, sabia. Tá demorando. Ter espinho pra tudo quanto é um lado. Ah, cadê a bota de trocar de lado? Cadê que tá? Que dá aqui? Ué? Ah, entendi, tá. E... Não! Que é louco! Não! Ah! Ok. Ah, eu não corro na não corro. Lugar engraçado, né? Viu?
Fort seemed quite sad about the trees being cut down. Our journey took us through a huge theme park. It was just like the one in Horace's town, but much bigger.
Ou não. Nossa, vou ter que fazer o zigue-zague aqui. E é claro, né, que o jogo vai ter alguma coisa pra atrapalhar isso, né? Vai ser um gigante voando na linha reta. Então tá bom, o jogo ensinou uma nova mecânica pra infernizar. O jogo parece que vai ter mais 10 aqui, na minha desgraça. Ah, mas o chão tá brilhando. Qual é o malefício dele tá brilhando? Não sei. Oxe. Leão, né? Claro que vai ter espinho. Por que o cara não vai botar um espinho ali? O que que é?
Both Fort and I were struck by how similar the inside of a sawmill and the inside of the roller coaster were.
Ah não vi isso. Bordinha. A habilidade do Yoshi ajuda muito. Ah, o derrapo aqui.
Eventually we wound up inside the ski resort, but we could see a huge boat in the valley below.
Isso deve dar dano se espada aí no chão. Eu não vou arriscar.
Fort suggested we travel under the cover of night, as we were getting nearer the humans, and home. The cruise liner carried us through the night to warmer waters. Fort was surprised how easily we docked the boat, but it was all just thanks to my captain's software.
Opa,
The bay that we docked the boat in looked pleasantly familiar. The gleaming white cliffs made me feel like a soldier returning home from war. It was then I realized we were literally just outside Alice's house.
assim, boa tarde aí.
We were about to continue, when Fort noticed something on my shoes. And with that, they worked again, allowing me once more to defy gravity. I kind of wished we had seen this switch months ago, but Fort just seemed to find it hilarious as we continued on our way home.
Ah, que maldito, eu tava com a gravidade desativa e ele não me avisou. Babaca, enfim, Olha as pessoas daqui. Nenhuma upgrade não.
Now then, said the dirty old man, let's see what you've got. Impressive. That's going straight on eBay. Can never have too many of these.
A ironia de que você vende monte de pedra preciosa aí ganha dinheiro. Aí você vende monte de peso de sucata aleatório e ganha muito mais. Vamos lá, né?
I've already got a buyer lined up for this. The police aren't going to come looking for this. Everything else is junk.
Mas agora só tem nicho.
Said the younger man. Stick everything in Bertha.
Eu ganhei 20 mil. Bonito, né? Aqui eu não sei. Essa é uma parte que provavelmente eu vou evitar não. Evitar. Eita! Rapaz. Vai ter preto. Ele tá atirando em mim. Que legal, né? E agora? Como que eu faço? Não tenho o meu balão. Ai, caramba. Por essa não tava. Não, pera. Por que eu tava querendo ir pra lá? Pega. Isso ali, mas... Esperar em andar 2 estações. Vou falar que eu não tenho onde gastar dinheiro, eu tenho pra gastar no trem, só que é pequeno, né?
Big city, this is big city.
Eu peguei tudo na Big City.
Mind the doors. The train is now departing.
Mainton was the next stop. I could get back to the mainland and Mr. Silton's from here.
Mainton, this is Mainton.
O cara vendendo jornal. Mas eu não entendi por que tem duas bolas de basquete aqui, mas... Não tem nada pra comprar, além do negócio de vida que vai ter pro caminho. Ali ia ter outra bola de basquete.
I made my way back out to the mainland.
Vamos ver se tá fácil dessa vez.
I suggested
É isso
Fort
mesmo.
find somewhere to hide. I thought the others may not have seen him as being as friendly as I did. I then made my way into the familiar damp hallway. Everyone was so pleased to see me. I
Eu não peguei as
explained how I had
evidências, olha.
survived being dismantled and escaped from the moon. I told them about the robots and the game tournament, and everyone seemed to find it funny that I was crowned ruler of the universe. It was then that I felt a gentle tapping on my leg. I looked down and saw a small girl smiling at me. "This is our daughter Heather," said Mrs. Silton. "We named her after..." Mr. Silton burst into the room looking very angry. At first I thought he was joking, but it soon became clear that he wasn't. "I can't believe you came back here. It's all your fault. If it weren't for you, Preston would still be alive." "Barry, it's not his fault." But Mr. Silton suddenly looked very sad as he said, "This robot got your daughter killed."
E a garotinha também morreu, né?
It might have been because he was 10 feet tall, or because he literally weighed a ton, but everybody was so scared it thought. Still, they all agreed it was fine for him to stay. We chatted long into the night until one by one, everyone went to bed.
De novo? É elas que morreram, né? Aí a batalha final. Aleluia. Só não pode ter continuação da batalha final 500 vezes.
"You can't sleep?" asked Mrs. Silton. "Me as well." "Number 2 on the way," she smiled. "At least I'm not barefoot." She then laughed, like it was a joke. But despite having traveled the world, I had no idea what she meant. "I suppose everyone else will be up in a bit. I'll get breakfast started." In the morning everyone continued chatting. The subject soon got back round to the military takeover and the man in black. "We need to do something," said the old lady. "They've destroyed the peace talks with the robots. Fighting could break out again in no time." "I don't mean to sound overdramatic, but that would literally be the end of the world," explained Sim. Alice laughed, But the army, there's no way we can fight them. We've lost our band of thieves, and, in the words of that French professor, God rest his soul, we're just some old ladies. The old lady stood up. We just need to take back control of the satellite. We can broadcast a signal to the robots. Those robot advisors, they might listen if they actually saw this new moon army. And those giant robots, they call them killbots, said Mrs. Silton as she showed me several photos. It seems the house was surrounded by hundreds of troops and a few robots so tall they dwarfed the building itself. So, I suggested we made our way there so Fort and I could assess the situation. Mr. Logan had got the boat out of hiding. I now just had to sail it from the dock back to the estate.
Tá. Aqui pra dock. Desculpa.
I took the fisherman's boat to the old man's estate. I knew you would come back here, came a horribly familiar voice.
I should have made sure you were dead when I had the chance.
It was the man in black. I have personally modified your nice virus, and now, with one flick of a switch, I'll finish the job.
Ih, vai fazer o robô ficar violento. Nossa. Então no final batalha eu não batalho.
It's pointless now, said Alice. We might as well give up. I don't know, maybe we can arrange a truce. I mean, if we agree but Sim couldn't even finish his sentence.
Mrs. Silton just sighed.
I think she was lost for words.
We really need Barry and Logan
if we're going to recapture the house,
said the old lady. Mrs. Silton explained she had phoned him earlier. Apparently he sounded fine, at least until she mentioned coming home. Then he started screaming. I couldn't understand him at all. He wants nothing to do with saving the world. His words, not mine. Sorry. The old lady sighed.
I was worried he might say that.
I take it Logan stayed with him. Logan's more of a dog than the dog is, laughed Alice.
The old lady was only really worried we would be outgunned. She said I would be the secret weapon as I would be able to sneak back into the house. That's true, said Sim, if we cause enough of a distraction. As long as you can get up to the roof, we'll be able to take control of the satellite. Hopefully the virus hasn't reached all the other robots around the world.
Suddenly, all hell broke loose.
The old lady, Alex and the others opened fire.
This was just the distraction I needed to make my way up to the roof.
I was shocked. However, this time not just by the giant brain, but rather what the man in black had done to him.
I do not want to, said Mr. Deck, but I will shoot you if I must.
Why don't you give up, said the man in black. Anton knew which side was right. Why don't you join us? I know we've had our differences, but I see potential in you. You could be my new right-hand man. You see, there's a link between you and I. Without me you wouldn't even be here. The two brothers designed and built you.
But what nobody ever told you is,
they were funded by their third brother.
Me.
I was speechless. How could he, this completely evil man, have something to do with my creation?
Convergente então.
Thank you.
Ah, pô, vi que ele foi metralhado.
A minor setback, said the man in black as he disconnected a piece of the satellite hardware. I just need to take this core unit and hitch it up to one of the killbots. In fact, that will make the virus signal even stronger. Mr. Deck, said the man in black, would you be so kind as to watch the robot? Shoot him if he tries anything. Mr. Deck lowered his gun. You little yellow bastard, he said, you'd better run.
Eu não posso voltar pra cá. Para de chefe, rapaz. Ih, rapaz. Um barulho muito de chefe. Quê? Não. quê? Ah. Teve que mexer ali, mas tem isso não. Tem um espinho ali, nossa, sacanagem. Eu fico vulnerável quando eu quiser. Ah, é aqui. Pô! Agora, hein? Ó. X. Tá, então ela tá com quadrado e pulo e corte. Ah, não. Ah, quadrado. Pensando pra trás. Tutorial completo. Vai dar uma treta, né? Vamos lá. Eu sorriso maligno. Vou fazer isso primeiro. Ah, tem a vida do lado. Tá. Era só dar um socão. Ah, perfeito. Tom. Flow. Tome, cachorro. Toma. Esquerda. Para de... Oh, desgraça. Ai, caramba. Ai, que... Vai. Tá tirando um passinho pra trás, ai. Pulou. Ah, não é assim. Ah, cara, pô. Chato, parece Raiman. Raiman não, Ultraman. Raiman que tinha faz doença. Ah, acabou. Não dá pra guardar. Não vou conseguir nunca. Ah. Pulou. Ah, mal já foi, já zombou, já. Pulou. Agora vai. Ah, é muito frio. Pô, 2 seguidas, jogo? Vai lamber um sabão, né? Ele fica ali atrás, ele começa a ficar muito rápido. Maldito. Mais a barra para poder funcionar. Durou 2 séculos, né? Eu pisava no pé dele, na mão dele. Matou a garotinha, maldito.
Somehow the man in grey had snuck up behind Mrs. Silton. I tried to shout down, but no one could hear me.
Olha que maldito!
Oi, shouted a familiar voice. Step away from my wife. The man in grey bragged with every blow. Who he'd hurt.
Cadê aquele suco que desintegra? Podia usar suco desintegrante nesse canalha
As he
escroto que
raised
tirou na
the
cara.
gun to Mr. Silton's head, he said, "You're out of your depth. I'm a professional. I used to kill for the CIA." Mr. Silton just smiled and said, "Yeah, and I'm a proper c***." With the rest of the great and good now stuck on the moon, and the man in black taken care of, it was reasonably easy to convince his troops to surrender. Signals came through from all over the planet, and soon the people began rebuilding civilization. And again, I was heralded as a hero. Soon the representatives from around the world held their first united meeting, and I was invited to give a speech. The old lady gently examined me, while Sim attached a cable from the diagnostic machine. "I've got some bad news," said the old lady as she took my hand. "The virus is rampant in your system. It's not as bad as it was with Betty Fluffers and Fort, but it's still destroying your circuitry." "I'm thinking," said Sim, "it must have something to do with consciousness. Yours seems more equipped to fight." "We'll still need to do something," said the old lady with a serious look. "If we replace all of the affected parts, we..." "Come on, mate," said Mr. Silton, "you know they can help." But I explained that it was too painful, and hurt so much. Just having my diagnostic panel open was excruciating. "So you mean you can feel things? But you're not supposed to be able to." "The virus hasn't completely taken over," Sim explained. "But I don't know how long you've got, maybe months, maybe years. When you, well, if it all gets a bit too much," said the old lady, "come back here and we'll look after you. You should try to get everything done that you want to before then, though," said Sim. "You know, maybe complete your quest, get your million things, play some games. I mean just do all the things, bucket list mate," interrupted Mr. Silton. "Go paint the town red." "Remember," said Alice, "should you need us." "Yes, Should you need us, said Mr. Logan. We'll be right here, said the old lady.
Waiting for you.
Cara, não acabou. Ah, isso aqui é pra resetar o save. Não sei. Ah, eu tô de novo com o balão. Tá. Ok. Aí que eu podia ir atrás das coisas e tal. Acho que acabou assim. Não entendi. Eu acho. Tem pelo sim, pelo não. Eu vou só encerrar aqui, quem sabe eu volto, eu peguei informação sobre isso. Mas enfim, pra mim acabou a série, é isso aí. A menos que tenha continuação de alguma forma ali, reset ali, vai ter historinha. Isso daqui. Vou dar reset. Não vou jogar de novo, não. Não vou pegar tudo de outra forma.
Over the next couple of months I started to get slower and slower. I needed a cane to help me walk. And my circuits felt so cold that the old lady suggested I wore the old man's lovely thick jacket. Life was simple, one day into the next, just helping out wherever I could. Then one morning things got really exciting. Mrs. Silton was going to have the baby. Eventually, after much screaming and cursing, mostly from Mr. Silton, the baby was born. He was this lovely little squishy pink thing, but for some reason he wouldn't stop crying. Alice suggested getting him a teddy bear, but there was no way Heather was giving hers away. That's when I remembered something.
Nem posso correr mais. Agora eu posso andar pra parede.
That's perfect, said the old lady.
Thank you.
Eu vou pegar 1 milhão pra você aqui. De novo voando. Ai, ai. Como é que aqui é o crédito? Eu posso usar o balão aqui. Será que eu morro aqui? Ah! Ok. Eu tô morto e morri. Ah, esse jogo não tem como levar a sério, não tem como. Esse tipo de coisa não pode acontecer. Ok, tá. Era culpa do milhão mesmo, olha assim. Será que 1 milhão revive os 3? Eu não sei. Eu sei que eu não vou pegar 1 milhão. Isso foi Horace. Eu acho que eu devo ter errado 500 vezes o nome dele. Foi curtinho. Enfim. Então minha nota pro jogo foi assim e tal. Porque a qualidade do jogo foi feita pra quem gosta realmente de pular e passar raiva com espinhos pra tudo quanto é lado. Pra mim, tipo, a nota do jogo é 5, assim. Não tem mais nem menos. É tipo isso aí, 5. É um jogo regular. Dá pra pegar com 50% de desconto, quem sabe? Se você curte o esquema de pulo. A história não sei se é boa, mas provavelmente não deve ser. É muito viajado pra você levar a sério. E é isso aí. Pra mim, tipo, se fosse dar uma nota minha, eu daria 2, porque eu sei que tem jogo pior. Até agora é o pior do ano pra mim. Enfim. Eu fui. Um bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite pra quem tá assistindo isso no futuro. E é isso aí. E crashou aqui. Até pra fechar o jogo é desgraçado. Falar o estádio. Enfim. Isso aí, esse foi o final.